This is day 5. This is day 542 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor a come share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. We very greatly appreciate it. Today we're doing Siman Shin Chafei, Sif Gimel. It's the Sif Tes. Gimel. Finally, by the Sim Reish Mavad Sif Vav. Shabbos Atzmasul Ashir Shum Kele Yehudi. Shabbos not allowed to lend any vessel to a non-Jew. Ram Bervabi Erzam. Ram explains to Shayotri basis so much from Machal B'Shabbos and he leaves the Jew's house. They'll say he sold him on Shabbos. It means they're going to be a Sheish Erev also. According to this, obviously as an Erev, but still also because the Mara sign that it looks like he sold it. And Rabbeinu says to Shem Kal Sabatam to Sober she sold to B'Shabbos. Excuse me. The Beis Yosef, however, writes his reason is because the people think that the Jew directed him to take it out on Yontif. Visa any Surah B'Yoshem B'Erev. When it's only be a person and see where there is no Erev. Shom name Adachot Tamil Shel Rambam. I and Shom they will explain why he rejected it. He said the Rambam. Zem Asher Pasuk B'Chan Sif Alav Dafilu Ein Yehudi Omer Chatzero. So he passed into and Sif Alav even not Jew standing in his courtyard. And the objects belong to the non-Jew. Asim Solok Shenota, you're not allowed to give the objects to him. And he's standing in a courtyard and about to remove them. Because the people there think that the objects belong to the Jew. When they actually do so they will suspect him that he told the commander of this guy to take it on Shabbos. This is the state, of course, where beyond the Chutzah there is no Eruv. Therefore, that's the Ramah wrote, it may be designated spot for the objects of the non-Jew for Shabbos. It doesn't work. Because of the Chashash. And then they direct him to carry something where there's no way. Even when to talk about food, when non-Jew standing outside and extends his hands inside, and someone's going to take the food out, also you can't give it to him. Because everybody's saying, it was going to say, you gave it to him in order to carry where there's no air. Besides the prohibition we put in his hand, because he's doing the Jew is doing the akir and shusayachid, and now Jews doing anocha. We know that you can't do an akir which can bring to anocha. Yeshu shema of course. Yeshu shema when I feel maybe chatzero loiten will be other. So even if he's standing in the yard, should not put in his hand. Because he may be merely go out to a public thoroughfare. The Jews did akira in this case as well. Okay, but that's not the case. The end kind of akira mitzvah is so cloud. If he's standing in the yard, there's no akira from the Jew's perspective. Then he'll dig shoker the non-Jew when he uproots himself to go leave the chutzer. He's the one who does the akira below Yisrael, and not the Jew. The akira is kufo kachira it's chayfetz. When he removes his body, that's as if he's the removal of. When he uproots his body, that's the uprooting of the object as well. Now, the H because those who if the object belongs to a non-Jew, it's not prohibited. Except in the case where the non-Jew is standing outside and he extends his hands inside. Then the Jew gave him the object. To be sure, somebody sees the Jew giving the object. Somewhere he thinks the object belongs to the Jew. So it's not just to give it to him. That's really because you're doing akira. Well, if you so even now Jew takes it from the Jew's hand. Does Gamakira saying that then the uprooting is even done by the non-Jew? Else it's still us in time my sign commercial time it looks bad. I will change the Omer but the non-Jew standing in the yard, to give it to Chefto Shalom. Give the non-Jew his own object. So because the person sees the non-Jew leaving your courtyard, Yomar says he's carrying the object which belongs to him. That's really the case. ורק בחפצו שישראל מות also, only if the object belongs to the Jew is it also. כשאחר חפץ מושכן לישראל, if the object was underleaned to a Jew, it belonged to the non-Jew, but it was given as collateral to a Jew. Also, if you chayvetz makom bod yom, it's not to give it to the non-Jew, even if he designated a spot for it outside his house in the courtyard before Shabbos began. It's here slow kanya, because the so to speak rental of the non-Jew that's placed in the chutzner is not an acquisition. But it does not remove that area from the jurisdiction of Israel. But if you made the object hefker from before Shabbos, nearly the mutter, then it could be permitted. All is the place there is no Erev. But there is an Erev Shita, Shemutar, it's obviously permitted. I feel Makum She'erev, and even there is no Erev, after until he's done, we can allow it for us to lay Islam Rosh Hashanah that we have no Rosh Hashanah prevalent in our cities. You also find a Chavetz, you can put the object down and he will take it. But William Solo, B'yamishum Akira, shall give it to his hand because of brooding. But Amkam is also Chatchila, and Chatchila is also forbidden Chatchila to give him the object. The Chumduma is to get a meaning, it seems that this is the custom. Yeshua writes that to put it in front of him in the Chotzer, it's okay. The Sharatzin says that to put in his hand is also, and it's probably machmir, because you're giving him when he's going to take it out. Sharatzin and Rabbah also are meko, they're also meko to put it down the object in front of him, like the Arukh HaShulchan just was. And I guess he says, yes, we really don't have to do that. You can actually put it into his hand. But nevertheless, it's kedai mi machmir when you can do it in a mutter way by putting it down. Hey. Yeah. This case where we're, in our case, in Abizmai, we don't have Rosh Hashanah, according to Arukh HaShulchan, it's still kedai mi machmir to put it down and not put it directly in his hand. Hey, I feel Malcolm Shas, even a place that's forbidden to give it to him. Imani Yehudi who alam, non-Jew is a tough guy. Or sheyesh b'zeh mishum darkei shalom. Or on the flip side, this is darkei shalom about. Mutter li to give it to him outright. Raki is a lebli to him yad yad, but just not to give it hand to hand mishum akira because of the uprooting issue. I'm not sure exactly what to do without giving it hand to hand. Maybe he takes it from your hand. And he also allowed to send it to him by the agents and not Jew, but I guess only through the Erev. And he can send it to a non-Jewish agent for the environment and also for a purpose of mitzvah. Such as take chametz out of your house, mutar, it's permitted. But that shows the things that cost for places to see in bazaar, the places concludes me out the anyone who should start robbing. So now we should start Marshall Hedion, we should start also be Chai Gavno. So we should start this will be also. Take us up Rabbi, but says Sibra Gadol. Right? So Sinking Yesh Tema, Lama Satan Verb Shulchan see base. Why do you distinguish between a place where there is Rosh Hashanah and a place where there isn't the Turkey? Vav, Kranich Boras have already been clarified. I feel like Chavetz Shem Yehudi, even as you belong to an Jew, Mashko, such as collateral, also Mitamish is borrowed also to give it directly because of reasons which are clarified. However, he's coming to switch his one collateral for another collateral. And he can wear out the object which he's taking away as a garment. You don't see anything that seems to be innocent. The commotion by a beggar shall love, it's assuming they're both like this garments, good point. Just like came with a garment, he's leaving the garment. The garment and this whole issue of commercial activity. There's no activity. That's why it doesn't talk about any sums. He says it switches for the other one, which is by you. Even Jew would be allowed to switch his mashkon on Shabbos. In my soul, if the Jew who's taking back collateral needs to wear it on Shabbos. Best for non-Jew to take the mashkon himself and put the other one down in its place. The Jew should not touch it at all. Mishmur says, however, if both people are Jew, both parties are Jewish, then you can be makel that both parties can touch it equally, because it doesn't look like Masa Matan, doesn't like commercial activity, but rather like a loaning and borrowing. Shloyak Masa Matan. Where it's a Jew and non-Jew, you shouldn't touch directly, so it shouldn't look like commercial activity. We have mashkin munach v'shlom makom agoli, but the mashkin is in a hidden place. V'achreshi yisol yivenu, and Jews got to bring it out. Muterlo, he's okay. Muteranki, that's also okay. The other college bring it here. By any of showed up beggar shalom, he brings it here, and the non-Jew takes the garment which he's wearing. Yikachas takes one. V'yisol yatzniya beggar sheniach, and Yisol puts in the same hiding place the garment which he left now. Don't make any reckonings. And so too, even Nigel comes and puts down money and takes his collateral back. Jew doesn't say anything with him. Ain't so because they don't protest against this. Because the Jew's completely passive. He doesn't make any reckoning. So make a reckoning is definitely prohibited. The bracket says, I'm going to see Konchesh, you see how Asma, Shetel Yosef Shabbos, and the Cheshmishan Simukul Rav, Sibab, Kazor Yatum, Shom Yisigul Asma, whatever, not important for us for now. The Mishnah Berurah brings down the Shetel Rabel, the Yishnai Makel, if the, unless the non-Jew is a tough guy, a place of a hefsed, you can rely on Magen Avraham and take the Shabbos who are matir outright, like the Arukh HaShulchan is. Zayin Kosova to a partial akum shenefah b'Shabbos, non-Jewish bread baked on Shabbos. Rabbeinu Tam will say also. Rabbeinu Tam says forbidden Hashem nitchan hayom because maybe it's grinded today. For him to do have muktzah, so it's muktzah's bread, but Shemash is le'aroi because Shwaya wasn't suitable to eat. Sefer Shumas Kosova because of plenty of least to the heter. Sefer Shumas goes both ways. Vadoni Avi Zal Kosovli. This is evidently a quote from the Torah still. He's quoting this rush. To me it seems permissible. Even was just flour or dough. By twilight loving muktzah came to Gemara ironic because it's finished by human beings. But since human being can finish it, and it's being done for a non-Jew who's allowed to do it at that point, it's not a problem. A piece of custom Rabbeinu says bread which is baked by a non-Jew for himself on Shabbos. Some people forbid and some people permit. Shas of Chak, if it's a time of difficulty, or it's also a mitzvah, or a purpose of a mitzvah, or bris milah, or some might say even for the purpose of making a motzi. Those are lenient, end quote. Because Rabbeinu, my mother writes, Avo also taking most of Erev Shabbos can give money on Erev Shabbos. The Sheikhim about the Shabbos to pay for bread he'll bring on Shabbos. That's not that so covered because they're doing the malacha for a Jew at Kal Shana. In some of the NUTs that will paltar guy be talking about non-Jewish commercial baker. Malcolm Shalchim pass out to a place where he eat a commercially baked bread, much because their semen could be based. You'll pass by a bias, ain't because if it's a personal bread made by a non-Jew, there's no leniency. Which happened to show like I wrote there. It seems that in terms of actual halacha, we are lenient. But if it's not a period of oppression, we are choshesh for Rabbeinu Tam not to take the bread on Shabbos. Let's see the time Rabbeinu Tam and Muvani. The truth of Rabbeinu Tam's words require analysis. The why is he concerned more about the grinding than about the kneading and the baking? Also, what's the between this and any other malach where the non-Jew do it for himself? The Jew can use it afterwards. Moshe's bar, as how we explained, there's many much toil was expended by first trying to understand this. The halacha writes, B'shas of Chak, that there's no other bread to be had, it's permissible. Okay, Ches. V'nir Rabbeinu Tam Alech was in Shitaso. Tam follows his line of reasoning that no Asur B'Shabbos, new stuff which is born or laid on Shabbos is Asur. Which comes from Shimon Shin Ches. So that's Bahag, holds like Bahag should be a test brings the Tchina have a Nolad. By grinding, it's a specific problem because it's like Nolad. And Sham. According to that's Taka makes sense. Why the only problem is if it's grinded today. But having Mukta to Nolad, because then it's a Mukta of Nolad. Immediately, Skatzay Mashmasha, this is a Mukta twilight the night before. Skatzay Lukuyama, it's Mukta for the entire day. Kambal Kaman Kabira. Immediately, Skatzay will like Rabbi Huda, which is happening to Sham. He said, that's Rova Poskin Kaman Nola Kaman Rabbi Shimon. Well, if that's the case, according to most of us know that by Nola, we also like Rabbi Shimon. The Gami Ishkoka and Bahag say Tchino having Nolad, and there are also people who argue about how Tchino does not make it into Nolad, which consultation Sham. Latino, the professor Arukh HaShulchan school have the same about Shulchan Aruch. The appropriate that the author of Shulchan pass conveniently. They tell our mitzvah shas l'chak and the hour b'shas mitzvah or b'shas l'chak. Test. Odei yesh l'mar time behind the rabbeinu time. We also say in the logical rabbeinu time shedakim hashkos harosh l'zeino muktzeh. That we can infer from the Rosh's words that's not muktzeh because it's completed by human beings. Kavanaso, and his meaning is, became a child in Yochel Takna by his Chol, since a person can finish it by grinding and kneading and baking. So this question he's asking the Rosh, fruit from the tree, also human being could pluck them. So why it has fruit from the tree, like drying figs and raisins, the tchiyah be a dime. It's going to be rejected deliberately. Below, since he didn't pluck them from before Shabbos begins. So by bread, also the same thing. The A is hefresh, yesh b'zeh. What's the difference? But tzarich lama, I have to say that's where Kedu, this is where that. To pluck off a tree is an easy thing. Yochel toshim b'vodiyam, because to pluck it from before Shabbos begins. V'lo tlashon, and he didn't do though. If he didn't do that, since he could have done it so easily for Shabbos and he didn't, that's called a tchibi yadayim. He love it because he had in mind to use it. Should have plucked them. Hashem Shar Muktos. There's even other Muktos to buy food. Well, we're past, like my bread. The Tzarech HaChana Rabol is there. Requires a lot of preparation. Tchina, Velisha, Afiyah, grinding and kneading and baking. Yes, I want to say the lost chazayt. The fact they didn't remove from the Shabbos doesn't mean they didn't have a mind to remove it. In fact, they didn't from before Shabbos again because they didn't have appropriate time, which you found for this. The action, so he said mukshar, but he finds appropriate time. Yes, he'll do it. Never non-Jew baked it. Mutarba pas lo asach. He's allowed to eat the bread. The Jew, because he was never mesiach das. Never got distracted. Zeu tzvas harosh is also the logic of the Rosh. Okay, brings her bracket, which is not relevant, and we will have to come to a middle time tomorrow.